broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hey, listen, thanks again for everybody coming out. I'd like to introduce some of the elected officials that are here this evening. If you're still there, please give your hand a raise. We appreciate you being involved in our electoral process, being involved in our government. So if I hack up your name, I have a last name, Kraulidis, and people have done it to me, so I apologize, but I'm trying to get this thing right. Planning Commission, Dave Oxley. Illinois House 37, Martin McDermott. Will County Board District 10 candidate Gloria Dolinger. Judge Ray Rossi. Will County Board Chair Jim Eustace. Will County Board Member Gretchen Fritz. Candidate for Recorder of Deeds Kristen Cross. Wheatland Township Supervisor Chuck Kerner. Will County Executive Laurie McPhiips. Mullets School Board Sue Smith. Lockport Fire Trustee Dave Pala. Plainfield Township Trustee Debbie Kraulidis. Candidate for 11th Congressional District, Tonya Corey. Will County Auditor candidate Gary Good. And then Plainfield Village Trustee Margie Benucci. I'm going to save the best for last. Will County Board District Member Candidate Tim Kraulidis. Actually, we have one more running in the 13th, Brenda Morris as well. And who else is going to be here that hasn't shown? Someone told me. Oh yeah, Mike Frigolone. Hey, how you doing? All right, man. It's Steve Balich and Mike Frigolone. Because they'll scare the shit out of you. I think it's about time that we have a classy county executive, somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that is proven, somebody that's willing to go out there and fight the fight, somebody that's willing to stand for issues and have it mean something, somebody that's been very supportive of many of us in this room, and I would just ask that we try and get her over the hump and be supportive of her in this election cycle. Laurie McPhiips.
Thanks, Jim. Very good. Can you hear me now?
I
gotta stay on script here. I'm Laurie McPhiips and I'm running for Will County Executive, and to quote Ronald Reagan, the 9 most terrifying words that you can hear are, I am from the government and I'm here to help. In fact, from the time that Reagan said this back in 1980 to now, I think it's even gotten worse. And that's why we have conservative candidates here today that that want to make a difference and rebuild Will County and Illinois and the government. Our candidates come from the small business community, from the volunteer community, and are frustrated with establishment politics. They're standing up to truly make a difference, and for the right reasons. And that's why we're all here today. Support people like Steve and other candidates here that really want to do this for the right reasons and not for personal interests. During the 1980 presidential debate with President Carter, Reagan had several great quotes, which are timeless and still resonating today. He mentioned the economy and inflation at that time and how Carter was blaming everyone, sounds familiar. He stated that people are living too well. And Reagan came back, people aren't living too well, government is living too well. And I don't think that's changed too much at all. They also debated increasing the minimum wage, which is still on the topic, hot topic after all these years. The Republican candidates believe in less government, and we will make it our top priority to reduce property taxes and work together, actually working together to do that, and to create a more streamlined and efficient government. Steve Balich and the Republican-led county board with Jim Eustace and Gretchen and not a lot of people, and hopefully some new board members coming on board. They have led the charge for responsible government. I will use my 20-plus years of leadership and management experience at Will County and to work with the county board, again with the county board, to make Will County more efficient and more transparent. This is an exciting election, and I'm proud to be a part of it, surrounded by such great civic leaders and conservative candidates. Our message is a powerful one, but in order to be successful, we need to rebuild government locally from the bottom up, meaning don't forget the offices at the bottom of the ballot. So remember, rebuild government from the bottom up on November 8th, and thank you for your time.
How many here actually believe in the Second Amendment? I didn't hear you. What was that? Why does the Second Amendment exist?
Because it couldn't be first. Because it couldn't be first.
Oh, I thought it was because we like to hunt. No, you mean that's not it?
To protect all the others.
Right, there you go, there you go. Well, it's funny, you know, on the other side of the aisle, we hear a lot about, oh, you know, what does hunters need this firearm for? What do they need this firearm for? Why do hunters need it? It's not about hunting. We know why the Second Amendment exists. And we're in full support of that Second Amendment, correct? Right. Well, tonight, with us today, we have ISRA grassroots organizer and leader, Doug Mayhal. He's the president, and he's a supporter of the Second Amendment. We appreciate what you do and the activities you have underground supporting our.
Well, I think you could say it's a big understatement that Steve Balich is a very unique person. We first met several years ago at a fundraiser, I think it was for Christine Medano. We were either at the bar or the hors d'oeuvre table and just said hello to each other, started talking, and obviously found we had the same views on many subjects. And he brought out that he was a strong defender of the Second Amendment. And I told him I was the first vice president of the Illinois State Rifle Association. That really, I think, cemented our friendship then, and it's been going ever since. Steve has no secrets what his thoughts are on any views. And it's a good thing because he's like a dog with a bone, and he won't let go of something. And if he thinks something ought to change or happen, he is tenacious with it, and he's going to make sure that it does change. And related to me, the first day, his first board meeting when he was elected to the Will County Board, that the first words out of his mouth were that they needed to have a resolution supporting that the Will County would support the Second Amendment. And I guess some people says, well, that's not the kind of things we do here, but Steve got it done. So Will County supports the Second Amendment, and it's a good thing. And sometime later, he and I were talking, and he said that he thought it was wrong that the county could use drones or Google Maps or anything like that to spy on the citizens of the Will County, and he was going to make sure that that stopped. And he said it was going to be an uphill battle. Sometime later, I heard that it wasn't going anywhere, and then a little while later I heard that he got it passed. So Steve can climb up a mountain or a cliff, and he can get to the top. So it's and obviously Steve is a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, and being so involved with the ISRA, we are constantly fighting to get good gun bills passed and keep bad gun bills from being passed. And we were the force that got concealed carry passed in Illinois a couple of years ago, and it was a big struggle. But Steve says, we need to support the ISRA. I'm going to have a fundraiser. He talked to me about it. I says, that would be great. What did he want from us? He says, no. He says, it's not going to cost him anything. He says, just get people here, and he'll get people here. We'll have a fundraiser and give all the proceeds, all the profits to the ISRA. He's done that 2 years in a row now, and he's going to do it again. It's September 15th, right? Right. Yeah, so he's going to have his third one. So he puts his money where his mouth is, and it's a great thing. It's I would not want to have a position opposed to Steve and have to fight him on it, because I don't. So anyway, everybody here is obviously very like-minded to what Steve and everybody else, Laurie and Kristen, everybody has the same, Margot has the same thoughts, and we need to support Steve and everybody here, because they're the ones that are going to keep America what it used to be, and it's not what it's changing to be sometimes. So we need to get it back where it was, so let's support everybody. Thank you.
Bigger than me. Mano, that's what he wants to hear. Mano! Now, when I was coming here, I'm thinking about, because I don't ever write nothing down because I can't see it. You know, so I'm thinking about what I'm going to say, and I was really pissed when I'm driving, because I'm thinking about our rotten president and how it's going to affect the people that live in this country, especially in our county. I'm a county guy, and I know it's coming. About a couple of weeks ago, it's about a month ago, President Obama interprets a law that says you can share a bathroom with a girl if you're a guy, and vice versa. And then if you're a guy that wants to look at women, you say you're transgender and go in the bathroom with her. Well, I was thinking about, you know, how does it affect the schools and stuff over here? Well, the guys aren't really wanting to go to the bathroom because they go in stalls. They want to go in the locker room. That way they see them completely naked. You know, so that's what we got. So now when it starts coming to our schools here, we sit back and say, hey, you know, Obama made a law. Or we say, Obama can't make damn laws. He can only get laws delivered by Congress. And the Supreme Court can't give a law either. They interpret the law from 1964 as being constitutional in 1964, the Civil Rights Act, that they're basing all this garbage on. In 1964, if they wanted to say that gay marriage is okay, they killed the guy. They turned to feather him and chase him away. Those days are gone. Now they're interpreting whatever they want to have. They're saying it's interpretation of the law by the Supreme Court. And that's a bunch of baloney. They can say it's constitutional or it isn't constitutional, and that's it. Now, when it comes to Will County, you think I'm going to sit by and say it's okay for my kids' or my friends' kids to go to school and share a locker room with whomever? Or am I supposed to go there to schools and start going nuts? Well, I would hope that everybody in the room gets pissed off enough to start making a stand against that. And now when they come to the county and they say, hey, there's no transgender bathroom at the county. Well, is the county supposed to go do it? Or do we say no? And we stand and fight? And the answer is that we all got to get some guts and stand up and say, no way in hell we're going to obey these crappy things that you're interpreting. It's not a law. And everybody in this room needs to do it. And it's going to come. It's going to come to all of us because Obama's going to shove it down our throat.
And then the best part of all this stuff is we're talking about something like transgender and, guys and girls in bathrooms. So it's real like juicy, so everybody's talking about it. Well, why do you think that came out? But a couple days prior to that, the real mean, the real bad thing, worse than that, Obama interpreted another law. And the new law is that if you are on Section 8 and you go to a rich white neighborhood, that's exact words, you get an incentive to live there with Section 8. If you go to a poor area, you get a penalty. So now he's interpreting laws to make social engineering. So when they come to our town here, again, and they say, Homer Glen, you got to have Section 8 so that these people can move in and you have a diverse community. Well, they did it in Dallas and their crime rate spiked. So all these things are on my brain just driving here. So you can imagine what goes on when I wake up. I dream lucid dreams. That's right, motto. No, but we all got to stand up and fight. And one of the things that I believe elected officials, and a lot of us in this room, we took a job as an elected official, and when we croak, God holds us to a higher level when we die. So he's going to say, hey, what'd you do? And you say, well, I didn't do nothing. Everybody was not really going to do anything. I didn't want to do nothing either. So, hey, that's good. You can go to hell. But I mean, that's what we're dealing with. So I think what happens is when you're an elected official, you got to do the action, not only the words. You got to do the action. So for me, I believe in limited government, less taxes, less regulation. Government, get the hell out of my face. And that's it. It's not so complicated. See, now, if my friend Dan Proft arrived here on time, it would have been cool, because he would have had said the same thing probably, because he's always telling me the same stuff. We have good arguments about it. But why can't we all stand up together and fight these stupid things? Why do we have to have a couple people saying no? And what are we going to do with the county? We got a bunch of county people here. Are we going to put in transgender bathrooms and just shut up and do it? No. We got to fight. And are we going to allow the government to tell us that they're going to social engineer where we live? Social engineering in Will County because Obama says so? That's no. We all got to stand there and fight. So I guess what I'm trying to get across to everybody is that I believe that it's really important as an elected official to go out and fight those fights. And not to let go of them, like Doug was saying, I don't let go. No, I'm not going to let go. If I know what you want, I'm going to be going bananas till I get my way. And I'm not going to stop. And I'll try everything I can do humanly possible to not allow anything bad to come to my community. Our Mayor George Duke is just the right guy, George. But when Dan Proft comes, I'm going to have to come up because he must be running ladies coming from Lake County. So, whatever. But he's a much better speaker than me. You would enjoy him. He said I'm his son by adoption. But anyway, thank everybody for coming here. I really appreciate it. And thanks, Debbie, for singing the motto on that way you sing like an angel. There we are. And Jim, and everybody here. John's a friend of mine I met at the Republican Jewish Coalition, Vegas, and we got friends and we go out to lunch, and it's cool. You see some people that new friends and then old friends, and I just turn my head and I see my running mate, Mr. Frizzalone. He's my partner. And the difference between us, she's like real articulate and good with numbers, and that kind of stuff. And I don't really care about that stuff. But anyway, if you live around here, you want to vote for both of us. So thank you very much again, and God bless you.
Anybody ever hear of this Proft guy? I don't think he's been vetted quite well. So, hey, listen, I just want to say we appreciate Dan. Steve and I met Dan when he was running for governor. And the one thing I want to say about Dan, as he's true to his commitment, he's been very supportive of all of us. You know, a lot of times these guys get involved. I don't think he's ever turned us down when we've asked him to do something. Whether it's a fundraiser, whether it's coming out in support, whether it's asking for a robocall, he's always been available. And that's something to say when you get hang with us for 8 years and have to explain it to your friends. Okay? So thank you for that. I just want to introduce you to Dan Proft, folks. Give me a hand.
Thank you. It's great to be here as always. I'm sorry I missed Balich's tour de force on transgender issues. I'm sure that would have been educational. But it's always great to be here to support Steve, to support Homer Township, to support Will County Republicans, frankly. A lot of important races this fall, and you know, with the Republican governor, the landscape has changed. Even though we still have Democrats in control of the General Assembly, the landscape has changed and it's changing. And let me tell you what I think is happening in this state. What I think Madigan really represents, since we're coming out of what didn't happen this past week with the state budget. Mike Madigan is like the Warsaw Pact country. It looks indomitable until it all crumbles in days and hours. Now, it took 35 years for the Warsaw Pact to dissemble. Mike Madigan has been House Speaker for 30 years, so we should be right on the cusp of his empire crumbling down and a new era being ushered in Illinois, and I really think that's possible. It's not just about state legislative candidates, although I want to get to that. It's also about reclaiming collar counties, big collar counties like, say, Will County. Growing the majorities on county boards, taking over county offices to build that infrastructure to support at the local level what the governor and Republican legislators are trying to do at the state level, and have a Republican governor and state legislators support what conservative, small government, constitutionalist Republicans are doing at the local level. So you have Margot McDermott fighting the fight in Springfield the way Steve is fighting the fight on the county board. And then you have more street fighters in waiting like Michelle Smith, who's running for state senate. In a race that's winnable. These are winnable races. And again, you kind of have to remember the trajectory here. We didn't have a governor in 2014. Even in races where we narrowly lost, we were being outspent 4 and 5 to 1. And I know because I was spending a lot of other people's money in support of candidates. And that's not going to be the case this time around. And the other thing I will say for people that may be demoralized, maybe coming out of the Republican primary, they weren't Trump supporters, they think, well, Trump is going to be a real drag on the ticket. Trump is going to prevent us from winning races at the local level or state legislative races that we could otherwise win. And I'm here to tell you, because I've done the polling, that's not true. Right now, today, Trump's probably at his nadir, particularly in a state like Illinois. And if you look at the target legislative races around the state, frankly, he's performing as well as Republican candidates or the generic Republican ballot test. And in some areas of the state, outside of Chicago Metro, he actually probably will be a benefit to Republican legislative candidates. So don't think that Trump is going to be an albatross around the neck of Republican candidates at the local or legislative level. It's just not true. The numbers say it's not true, and oh, by the way, politics just doesn't work that way. There are going to be enormous resources devoted to all of these races, and people are going to make independent decisions for their member of Congress. And I see Tonya Curry here running against Bill Foster as well, supporting Tonya Curry against Bill Foster. Independent decisions for the president, for U.S. Senate, for hotly contested congressional races, for hotly contested state legislative and local races. That's how it works. Back when Senate Republicans had control of the state Senate in the 90s under Phillip, well, Bill Clinton won the state twice, but it didn't prevent Republicans from winning state Senate races. It didn't prevent Republicans from winning congressional races. It didn't prevent even that two-year period of the last 3 decades where Republicans actually controlled the Illinois House, 94 to 96. It didn't prevent Republicans from winning state House races. So, you know, whatever happens at the federal level, at the national level for president, that's one thing. Trump may not have great coattails, but Hillary Clinton doesn't have any coattails either. And Trump is not going to be an albatross. So for anybody that may have been not a Trump supporter, maybe still is reticent to be a Trump supporter, number one, you should be because you want to prevent Hillary. But number two, don't be demoralized or use that as a rationale to say, well, I'm just going to not participate. I'm going to throw in the towel because he's going to drag everybody down with us. That's what Chicago press corps wants you to believe. That's what the Washington press corps wants you to believe. It's a big lie, and they're used to telling big lies. So just don't buy it. Work like what you do will drive the outcome because that's the truth. What you do, the work that you put in, will drive the outcome in all these races. And the last thing I'll say, just in terms of thinking about branding the Democrats, just as we want to brand ourselves, Leslie Munger, the state comptroller, who's up for re-election this year. So another reason Will County is so important to deliver Will County in big numbers for Leslie Munger. Leslie Munger put out a great meme that helps people understand what Democrats have done to this state in a way that is consumable, not billions and billions of dollars. It's simply this. Think about the state as your household. Here's what your household would look like if it was run by the state. You have $7,000 in bills on your kitchen table. You have $2,000 in bills coming in the mail every day. You have $110,000 in credit card debt, and you have $100 in your bank account. Make that math work. Survive with those kind of finances. Obviously, you can't. And this didn't happen over the last 15 months since Bruce Rauner was elected. You don't rack up that kind of debt in 15 months, particularly without a budget, nothing that Governor Rauner has signed on to. This has happened over the 30 years of Madigan and Cullerton and Chicago Democrat politician rule of this state. And maybe that's a way to have a shareable story so we inform some people who voted Democrat before, and maybe they don't this time. Maybe they realize that Larry Walsh and the Democrats in Will County are all part of the same cultural problem we have of Chicago Democrats and Chicago Democrat thinking in this county and in this state, and maybe they turn everybody out in November, which is long overdue. So, again, happy to be here, as always. Always like hanging out with Steve and Tim Kraulidis and all of their criminal friends. And with that, just know that you have people in the party, my super PAC and others that are interested in what happens at the local level. We got involved in local races in the last midterm election cycle. We will get involved again in 17. We want to support good local candidates and build them up, those that want to move up to being good state legislative and even good statewide candidates or federal candidates. And so we're going to continue to do the work. But you guys, and this model that you built in Homer Township is really a model that we're trying to scale. And so we want to help you, and we want you to continue doing the good work you can do so we can export